Hey everybody, this is Kyle Hilliard with Game Informer. I've got intern Blake Woog here with me.
Hey guys.
Blake, you like Dark Souls, right?
Yeah, I've played a couple.
Yeah, have you played Code Vein at all?
I have not.
Okay, so Code Vein was in like a beta test this weekend, which lets you sample some of the online stuff. And we've had hands-on with it before, and I had hands-on with it again this weekend. And it's just one of those games that is always compared to Dark Souls, but it really, everything is compared to Dark Souls, right?
Yeah, I mean, you hear that all about every game and every platform.
Yeah. So I basically wanted to put together this video to look at Code Vein and really just ask the question, like, how Dark Souls is Code Vein? Is it as Dark Souls as we're all saying it is? Or are we, being unfair about it? Are we just calling it Dark Souls because it's dark? So I wanted to explore that a little bit with you by my side.
For sure.
So the short answer to the question is that Code Vein is a lot like Dark Souls. It's not just like a shallow comparison. It's not just because it's hard or dark. It is very Dark Souls.
It's got the same kind of weapon combat, the stamina management, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. You also dodge a lot. It's crucial, and you do it often. And that isn't, explicitly like a Dark Souls mechanic, but it feels very similar in this instance.
Is that bordering a little more on Bloodborne? Is there a shield involved in any way?
I believe a few of the classes allow you to get a shield if you want. Yeah, so it's more on the Dark Souls side than the Bloodborne side of the From Software scale. Sekiro is just out the window at this point.
Right.
The health system is functionally similar to Dark Souls' Estus Flask, and there's even like bonfire type situations where you can rest and reset it.
Oh, okay. Yep, I see what you're saying.
Yep. When you die, there is an opportunity to recover your lost experience.
Very Dark Souls.
Getting ambushed by a surprise group or a single enemy, it's a major design component. So people will jump out of a group of like boxes and ambush you and stuff like that.
Okay. What about a multiplayer component? Are there going to be people invading your world?
There will be people who the details of like whether they're going to be invading you or not aren't clear yet, but you will have people that can like help you and they'll be alongside with you. And there's even you'll have like a non-player character with you for most of the game. It seems like, at least that's how it worked in the beta this weekend.
Okay, sure.
Are you a fellow explorer? I'm on my own at the moment, too. What do you say? Would you mind working? Don't worry. I'm not gonna stab you in the back. Thanks a lot.
So this game also has fog gates that block your progress. They don't. The ones in the beta weren't necessarily like entrances to bosses, but there were fog gates. But the interesting thing about Code Vein is there is a solid story conceit for why there are these fog gates, and it even explains like why your character is usually wearing a gas mask.
Oh, okay. That's really interesting.
Yeah. You can get knocked off the edge unexpectedly, and it's bullshit in this game too.
Snake Fortress, I'm looking at you.
You can't pause Code Vein, much like Dark Souls, and all of its menu selection is mapped to the D-pad. You'll run across NPCs, and at least in this particular area that I'm showing right now, they're all like exhausted wanderers who talk in whispered tones, much like they do in Dark Souls. You can also like skip through their dialogue if you're a faster reader, and you can also walk away if you don't want to hear from them anymore. It just felt very similar to Dark Souls.
How's the inventory management? Is it excessive?
It's similar to Dark Souls, where you have the different categories that you can go through with the triggers.
Okay.
Defeating a boss is strikingly similar to Dark Souls. It feels like they're not even pretending in this instance, the way the text flashes on screen. So for all the ways that Code Vein like clearly wears its inspiration on its sleeve, it does have a handful of elements that make it stand apart. The visual style is anime inspired, and I think it works pretty well for the setting. Even after only like an hour or two, I did kind of feel like I was playing an anime. Like the world is dense and there's a lot of history there.
Lore coming through items and characters?
Mostly characters and cutscenes.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Which sort of goes into my next point. The story is still pretty opaque and kind of vague, but it's much more overt than Dark Souls. There are cutscenes, and companion characters will talk your ear off with all kinds of expository dialogue.
That is different from Dark Souls.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what these are, right?
Blood beads, right?
There are classes and class-specific abilities, and they're distributed differently than they are in Dark Souls. You can kind of swap anytime, and if you do well in combat, you actually get like more opportunities to pull off special attacks.
Are there mage classes like the pyromancer in Dark Souls?
Yeah, there's like magic focused classes. They're called something different, but yeah. Dark Souls structure works well, and to have a game within that genre with like a different visual style is cool. And we'll see. Maybe the full game will find more opportunities to separate itself from Dark Souls. But for now, Code Vein knows exactly what players it is trying to acquire, and it's the ones who like From Software games. and anime, which that's you, right, Blake?
That's me exactly.
Cool. Well, thanks so much. I appreciate you taking the time to let me talk at you about Code Vein.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks for watching.